Hi there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading. This is your general angel reading for the week of March 28th through April 3rd of 2022. So it must be your birthday coming up fairly soon, within a month or so, maybe a bit more. So that's fun and exciting for you to have that coming. Okay, so we've got about half the cards out here now. Angels are saying just be patient and we'll get them out in a second. Because I was just asking, should we do a pre-message? And they said, no, it'll be coming out in the reading. So one more card here now. And they said just, be patient and it'll come out. Okay, so here we go. Okay, wow, all right. So the first card and the last card, emerging, worth waiting for. All right, so as if you even need to, should we just turn this off now? I mean, right? Because so this emerging card, it's talking about you. It's also talking about your immediate world, and it's also talking about like your thoughts and your how you're processing things, how you're learning things. Evolving is another word for that kind of. But so this is you and your thoughts coming to fruition, things solidifying that before you've been a little confused about. Everything is coming together. And it takes its own time, as always, right? But bits of information are revealed to you as they slot in to where your thoughts are going, where your beliefs are going, and all that stuff, right? So like if it was given to you all in one big clump, then you'd hardly know how to decipher what's going on, right? So it's a little at a time so that you can process it and then kind of fit things together and some things might have to shift and change as you learn more, but that's really normal. That's exactly how it is. And in this way, you understand it better as you go. Okay. And so, yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. Everything's coming to you that you need. That's what they're saying. It's like they're showing me this, you in the middle, and everything just kind of gently sliding in and coming from all directions. Sometimes places that are unexpected, that you weren't thinking of. You weren't planning on that, but here it comes, right? So it feels really good, and so a lot of this has to do with family culture, right? And again, it feels like you're learning about that. So for some of you, this is your own, what's gone on before that led within your family, that led to now, right? That you're learning more about that. But it feels like it's a different family. It's maybe extended family, or it's in-laws, or stuff like that. That you're learning more about that. And in fact, they're saying it's changing as we speak, basically, right? Because everybody else is also evolving. You're not the only one, right? So you're learning about that and how all the interactions within the family, as well as cultural things like from nationalities and from family experience, and those kinds of things. So there's more of that coming to light now. Like probably no more than usual, but there is just more. And so you're becoming more aware of that and taking that into account. I mean, some people are very forthcoming. Some families, are very forthcoming about things. Other people or other families are just very closed about that, very private about that. It's not really closed. It's not that they won't share. It's a private thing to them. So they just don't think to share it, right? And so that is changing. That is changing. So, okay, family has a huge impact, huge influence on your life. And that is exactly how it's supposed to be. You know, we are all a product of our family. And so the more you can understand how that shaped everything before you as well as to you, then the better you'll be. The more understanding you will have, and that you will be. So that's great. Okay, and so, yeah, freedom. Freedom means something different to everybody. And these days in our world, freedom is a word that's often used. And so, what does this mean to you? Take some deep breaths and understand that in so many ways you have all this blessed, beautiful freedom. In some ways you don't. I mean, that is the nature of our society these days. Somebody said to me the other day, they said, "Do you have a mortgage?" In fact, they were talking to a group of us. They said, "Do you have a mortgage?" So some people said yes, some people said no. If you don't have a mortgage, we generally think, yay, you own your own home, right? Excuse me. And so we sit there and we go, yes, I own my own home. I am mortgage free. And they said, just don't pay your property taxes for a while. You'll find out if you actually own your property or not. Right? So there's all different kinds of freedom, all different levels of it. And that is how our society is built these days. And so you find your own freedoms within the whole big picture. And you build on those. You make them bigger. And, excuse me, I'm trying to discern if this is just me with a tickle in my throat or if this is part of your reading. I'll get there in a minute. Usually I can tell pretty quick, but this time I'm not sure. Anyway, your freedom is something not to be taken for granted. It's to be treasured and preserved. So become aware of all the small freedoms you have and make them bigger, make them into more. Okay? And so in a very real way, that way you feel free. And when you feel free, you attract to you more freedom. That's how it works, the law of attraction at its finest, right? Okay. So, a lot of your world right now has to do with water. So for some of you, this is spring runoff. The winter snows are melting and things are maybe muddy and water's running, and perhaps it's running into places that you don't want it to. Like for some of you, maybe your basements are flooding, something like that. Some of you, this is the water that you need to drink. You're thirsty, you're dehydrated. Please don't get like that, like just keep enough water around all the time to make sure you're not dehydrated. It just feels very like, as within, so without, the water within your body reacts. It serves you, it keeps you nourished and hydrated, of course, and keeps your body functioning optimally. And outside of you, it has such a huge influence, in terms of keeping our earth hydrated as well. And when you're growing your food and things like that, we absolutely need water. And yet too much of it is a real detriment. So it just feels like right now you're really aware of the power of water in your life. And so I guess managing that is coming through as the message. Managing the water. And that's in all ways, whether that's what you're drinking, whether you're watering your house plants, whether you're, having a flood or whatever it is. And maybe you're having a drought. right? So you're just very aware right now of the power of water in your life. Feels like something you've known before, but it's really being driven home right now. All right. So you have some romance in your life. For those of you who are in a committed relationship, this is, it's better, it's deeper, it's happening, it's amazing, and you love it, and treasure it. Make it bigger, make it better, right? For those of you who do not have a partner in your life, well, you could expect one to be around somewhere, not too far away. So keep your eyes peeled, and it's a delicious sense of anticipation. That's what they're saying. It feels really good. And so this is my tickle. This is not yours. Okay. So being aware of, the people around you, the people who you strike sparks with, and, maybe you'll overcome some shyness and will speak. That would be good. All right. And here we have come to this beautiful card at the end of your reading, worth waiting for. There are things that you've set in motion a while ago that are coming now, that the details are all coming, it's building, and it feels like to you it's been a long time coming, but it's worth waiting for. It's not quite here yet, but the time is almost here that you can fully act upon these dreams that you've had, and it'll be an absolutely joyous time, and it's worth it. It's worth it. It had to wait this long because everything had to get lined up. The resources, the people, the supplies, the project, the whatever it is, everything had to get lined up in order for it to go smoothly when it does actually begin. Okay, that's lovely. So now we have the daily guidance cards, and we will ask for one last piece of wisdom. And we'll see what it is your angels are saying to you. There's the last one. Okay, be honest with yourself. There's something that feels like not deliberate. It's just you haven't really acknowledged yet this thing. Be honest with yourself. It's something along the lines of, like, it's somebody else. You're glad about something that's happening to them, and yet you're trying not to feel that, because it's along the lines of "I told you so," and you don't want to feel like that. But be honest. You're allowed to feel like that. Whatever it is that you are feeling, feel it, right? No matter what. You don't have to shout it from rooftops. It's you knowing yourself, right? Which is always a better thing. Okay. All right. There's your reading, Taurus. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you very much, and I love you, and I will see you next week.